हेलो एंड वेलकम एवरीवन टू माय ब्लॉग। आज का मेरा टॉपिक है रेज्यूमे। ये रेज्यूमे मैं स्पेसिफिकली कैटर कर रही हूँ एक एसडी प्रोफाइल के लिए, एक जो कि एक इंटर्न, फ्रेशर या 1 या 2 ईयर एक्सपीरियंस कैंडिडेट ध्यान में रख सकता है। तो आइए शुरू करते हैं। फर्स्ट एंड फॉरमोस्ट पॉइंट हमारा है दैट आवर रेज्यूमे शुड बी कंसाइज एंड प्रिसाइज। आवर रेज्यूमे शुड बी to a maximum size of 1 or 2 pages, not more than that. Why am I saying this? हमारा जो रेज्यूमे होता है वो हमारे एचआर्स बहुत ही जल्दी पढ़ते हैं। उनके पास इतने सारे रेज्यूमेज आते हैं दैट दे ओनली हैव अ टाइम ऑफ 30 seconds to skim through your resume. Therefore, they will only look for specific keywords. So, you should use only those words which are applicable to your job profile. अब आपका क्वेश्चन होगा कि हम ये कैसे कर सकते हैं। आप जाइए जॉब रिक्रूटमेंट या जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन वाले सेक्शन पर जाइए, उसमें स्पेसिफिकली कीवर्ड्स पिक करिए जो कि आपने अपने किसी इंटर्नशिप, आपने अपने किसी प्रोजेक्ट या आपकी स्किल सेट को मैच करते हैं। वो वाले वर्ड्स आप उन वर्ड्स को अपने उन पेजेस पर लिख सकते हैं एंड देन अपने जॉब या अपने उस प्रोफाइल के रिगार्डिंग आप उसको अपने रेज्यूमे में इनकॉर्पोरेट कर सकते हैं। इससे यू विल गेट अ चांस टू टेलर योर रेज्यूमे अकॉर्डिंग टू द जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन, देयरफॉर इंक्रीजिंग योर चांसेस ऑफ योर रेज्यूमे गेटिंग शॉर्टलिस्टेड फॉर दैट पर्टिकुलर जॉब. The second point, which is to be taken into consideration along with this fact, is that you should keep the description of any particular job, any particular project, any particular internship to a maximum of 2 points. This helps you to keep your resume limited to 1 page and also helps you to make your bullet points concise and helps you write words which adds value and helps you avoid writing unnecessary sentences. If you are a student looking to apply for a job or for a research internship, then I specifically advise you to keep 2 separate resumes. One you should use for applying for your resume and the other you should use for applying for industry level internships and things like that. This is because in research internships and for further studies, your resume and the things which a person scouts for in your resume is different from what a person scouts for your resume if you are applying for a job or for an internship. You can also provide hyperlinks to your jobs, to your description or the work that you did in form of a video or some demonstration like that, so that it increase your chances of your resume getting shortlisted. Then the next point is quantifying your achievements. आप अपने achievements को quantify कर सकते हैं, बट सवाल उठता है कैसे। आप ये लिख सकते हैं कि आपने कितना percentage of user traffic increase किया by some X% of amount due to the implementation of a feature which you created, और for example अगर आप machine learning या AI related ऐसी कुछ internship या किसी job के लिए apply कर रहे हैं तो आप लिख सकते हैं कि आपका किसी previous या past work में आपने कितनी percentage अपनी model accuracy या ऐसा कुछ improve किया है। देन द नेक्स्ट थिंग विच हेल्प्स यू इज़, अगर आपको नहीं आइडिया आ रहा कि आप क्या क्या वर्ड्स अपने रेज्यूमे में यूज़ कर सकते हैं, तो आप अपने किसी सीनियर या किसी जॉब डिस्क्रिप्शन को पढ़ सकते हैं आइडिया लेने के लिए कि व्हाट दे हैव रिटन इन देयर रेज्यूमेज और व्हाट ऑल अ पर्सन इज़ रिक्वायर्ड टू हैव फॉर अप्लाइंग फॉर द रोल, टू गेट एन आइडिया ऑफ व्हाट ऑल यू कैन राइट इन योर रोल. दिस हेल्प्स यू केटर योर रेज्यूमे टू द स्पेसिफिक रोल. नेक्स्ट हम बात करते हैं कि आपके रेज्यूमे में आपकी हेडिंग्स का क्या होना चाहिए. तो सबसे पहले आती है हमारी एजुकेशन. देन उसके बाद अगर आपने कोई इंटर्नशिप करी हो तो देन इफ़ यू हैव एनी पर्सनल प्रोजेक्ट्स. उसके बाद आती हैं आपकी अचीवमेंट्स. यू शुड स्पेसिफिकली हाईलाइट योर अचीवमेंट्स इफ़ यू हैव एनी, इवन इफ दे आर स्मॉल और बिग. देन वी हैव द सेक्शन ऑफ टेक्निकल स्किल्स. इसमें आप अपने स्किल्स लिख सकते हैं जो कि काफ़ी सारे हेडिंग्स के अंदर सब डिवाइडेड होगी. देन वी हैव दैट अदर हाईलाइट सेक्शन. अदर हाईलाइट्स में आपके वॉलंटियरिंग वर्क आ सकते हैं, जैसे अगर आपने कोई टेक टॉक दी हो, इफ़ यू हैव होस्टेड सम काइंड ऑफ हैकाथॉन इन योर कॉलेज और समथिंग लाइक दैट. Next, we will talk about where we should make your resume. You should make your resume on Overleaf or Microsoft Word. Also, अगर आप अपना resume बना रहे हैं तो आपको ये ध्यान में रखना चाहिए that instead of dividing your resume section into two sections, you should write your resume in one section only. This is because many companies use ATS trackers. जब HR लोगों के पास काफ़ी लाखों एप्लीकेशंस आती हैं तो वो सीधे रेज्यूमेज आपके डाउनलोड करके ATS मशीन्स में डाल देते हैं, जिससे वो स्पेसिफिक कीवर्ड्स ही पिक करता है. कई कबार ये अगर ATS ट्रैकर कंफ्यूज हो जाता है अगर आपका रेज्यूमे 2 सेक्शंस में डिवाइडेड हो, एंड वो आपके सेंटेंसेस से मैसअप कर देता है। इससे आपके चांसेस बहुत कम हो जाते हैं कि आपका जो रेज्यूमे है शॉर्टलिस्ट होगा। Next, use simple action words to highlight your achievements. You can use words like made, developed, managed, leveraged. These kinds of words are very persuasive and very simple, but they add tons of value to your resume. Next, we will be talking about any hobby which you add. Like I have seen in many resumes, आप लोग क्या करते हैं कि कुछ specific hobby add कर देते हैं. If the hobby or some other highlight is related to technical thing which you are applying for, like you are said, like let's say you are hosting some technical event or some hackathon or giving a tech talk or volunteering to set up the OS in your peers laptop, this all can be included as another highlight or some hobby. But if you're including things like singing or dancing, these words do not add any additional value to your resume and hence should not be included in your resume. Next, don't be afraid to brag. This is the point which I keep on repeating again and again because this is what helps you getting in shortlisted. HR जो है आपको तभी नोटिस करेगा जब आपको अपने आप को सेल करना आता हो. आपको ये स्किल सीखनी पड़ेगी because this is with what will help you in life again and again at various points in life. Hence, you should be able to sell off your skills, your uniqueness, and your abilities. Next, don't write any general statements in your resume. You should always use technical words which help highlight how you have contributed to the betterment of the project. This increases your chances of getting shortlisted in any company. देन द नेक्स्ट पॉइंट इज़ क्वान्टिफाइंग योर अचीवमेंट्स. आप अपने अचीवमेंट्स को क्वान्टिफाई कर सकते हैं, बट सवाल उठता है कैसे. आप ये लिख सकते हैं कि आपने कितना परसेंटेज ऑफ यूज़र ट्रैफिक इंक्रीज किया बाई सम x% ऑफ अमाउंट ड्यू टू द इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ अ फीचर विच यू क्रिएटेड. और फॉर एग्जाम्पल अगर आप मशीन लर्निंग या AI रिलेटेड ऐसी कुछ इंटर्नशिप या किसी जॉब के लिए अप्लाई कर रहे हैं तो आप लिख सकते हैं कि आपका किसी प्रीवियस या पास्ट वर्क में आपने कितनी परसेंटेज अपनी मॉडल एक्यूरेसी या ऐसा कुछ इम्प्रूव किया है. Okay, so for like showing an example, I'm reviewing my resume. So this is the final resume which I have made. Before that, I would have edited my resume some 10 or 15 times because this is how much hard work it takes to make a good resume, which gets selected in multiple companies. So like my resume got selected in companies like Google, Microsoft, and Bloomberg-US, the eShore India, and of course the company which I'm currently working in now. I got the chance to interview with these companies without giving any online interview. So that is the power of good resume and developing your skills and being able to showcase your skills in your resume. So let's get into this resume reviewing part. So as you can see on the top, I have listed my name along with all the contact information available and links to some important websites. So this can be GitHub, LinkedIn, Codeforces, LeetCode, any of the things which you find relevant, which you say that is your strong point. So you can write this over here. And then like I told you before, we have this resume divided into sections going in the order of education, experience, projects, achievements, technical skills. Also, like you would have noticed that my resume is only of one page, and that is how a resume should be, maximum 2 pages only. But like I am pretty sure that you would be able to fit all the things in one resume only, given you know how to condense information in a way that is valuable to the person who is reading it. So let's dive into the resume thing. Now, as you can see, I've listed down my college over here and the degree which I am pursuing and like the expected tenure. So, like if you're applying for internships, then you can write present over here. Also know that if you want to include the school, then it is not that uh, good of an idea. You can include if you are feeling left out, you're feeling that some white space is still left over. So for that purpose you can write your school, but it adds no value to the resume. So like whenever you are adding anything, you should always question, is the word or is the phrase which I'm adding adding any value to my resume. So like if the answer is not a straight yes, then you shouldn't be going to add it. Also like writing your CGPA is a matter of choice. If you feel that your CGPA is way good, then you can write it, otherwise you can let it off. The reason being that you can, if you include a CGPA which is not so impressive, then like it can have an impact on the interviewer to some extent, like which is very minuscule, because your selection will depend on the interview, not on your CGPA. But still, to be on the safer side, like write it only if you have a very good CGPA. So coming to the experience sections, like you can write the experience in order from the latest to the first experience which you had. So as you can say, I'm currently working as a member of technical staff in Pure Storage, and this was the lines which I wrote at the very beginning of like the starting of when I started working at Pure Storage. So you can see that it's not a very technical line, and like I will edit it afterwards because this is not exactly how I do it. It was just when I joined the company, that is what I got to, what I thought that I was doing, but now I've gained more clarity of my work. So like leaving this part, while coming to the open like other sections, you can say that other recent experience was that I worked as an open source contributor. And you can write the expected tenure, and here I have written the organization which I was working for. So it was like I was selected in the Google season of docs program, which is similar to Google summer of code, except for the fact that we get paid more. But and we have to edit the documentation instead of the code. And like this is the organization which I was working for, and this was my tenure. So I wrote all what all things which I did. So I made the documentation for embedded boards, like blah blah blah, and organized their gallery. So this was my work. You can see that I have like condensed the all the tasks which I was assigned during my internships or like projects into one or maximum two bullet points, and that is how it should be. You should be able to judge like if the information you're adding is adding value, and like the way you can go to judge is like if the phrase or the word you're adding is adding any new highlighted new value to your resume. Supposingly you're repeating some words, like I reviewed many of my juniors resume also, and many of my peers resume also, and I found that their resume is conveying the same information over and over again in different internships and different projects, and even in the same bullet point. So that is something which you should avoid. And like you can convert the sentence if you're not so strong, like if you're not so sure if you're doing this correctly, then you can convert it into Hindi. Question yourself that is it adding something new to your resume. If the answer is not a straight yes, then like you should go and rephrase it so that it saves us space and it adds value. So you can see over here that I have written what was my position during the intern, my like the company which I worked with, and like the the work which I was assigned. So you can say, and now how um you should go on about is that you should write some keywords like built and performed, which I talked about earlier in my video, and which adds value. And you should be using technical words, like I've written perform data analysis, wrangling and transformation to analyze students performance in school for predictive and prescriptive analysis. So these words are these words add a very high value. So this is how you should go on about it. So you can write, so next comes the project section. So you can include projects which add um, which have a major impact. So it should not be something which is a fun project, and even if you have made it in a fun way, you should find a way that the project which you have created is like it can be applied in some or the other project or application, and it adds value to the project. So that is one thing which you should be taken care of, and this I'm telling you because in while I was interviewing with someone in GHC, I talked about this humanoid primers bot, and they add me up, this is a fun project or like it adds value. So at like though we at the initial point we didn't think of it as like something of adding value, but at the time of interviewing, so I said that like we can use this in our uh, day-to-day work when we scale it to a large extent that like it does work and assists us in performing human like household chores. So that is how you should be able to convey your point. So like you can say that this classroom app to help students attend classes having Google Meet facility, uploading files option, login. So this was like a basic project only which we got assigned, and since my background was not in web development, it was more towards the AI domain. It was like a beginner project for me, and I learned a lot through this. So this is what all I wrote, and along with that you should be writing the technologies which you worked in. So like if like they are scanning your resume through the ATS machine and they have these criterias or the requirements, and this matches with the job description, then it would help in shortlisting of that resume. So these are all the points which I did, and all the technologies which I use: performs face recognition and something like that. And this is the health check and the iSafe SIH app. Now like these are for the safety purposes which I built, and this is for the health check, and like what all we did, like we use we use this model. So for a person who is in the machine learning domain, you can like write the percentage of the accuracy, something like that. And for a person who is in web development domain, then you can pick certain keywords which adds value, like you can also include something like you helped increasing the customer or the user traffic by this and this percentage, so that helps. And so next comes the achievement section which I have written is like I always always like highlight your achievements. This is one thing which I tell to everyone, and no one should shy away from highlighting your strong points, because this adds like you're somewhat of a different student and adding uh, a very focused and a very enthusiastic person. And like companies then can assess you that like if you are working with them, then also you'll be enthusiastic towards your work and will be um going to a point where you will be uh, surpassing your expectations. And these are the type of candidates which a manager or like a person scouts for. So you should always like highlight your achievements. Then is technical skills. So in this technical skills section, you can have this language skills, coursework, and others, where you highlight everything which you have written. So you this all like these points, all this can be, you can read many job descriptions and look out for what all majority of the applications look out for a resume, and based on that you can keep on adding your coursework, your skills which are in demand, and then you can add this. Like, and if you have like this is my current resume. So before applying, like before starting my work at Pure Storage, I didn't have this section. I just have started from this, and there was space there, so I added this other highlight section wherein I wrote like what all hackathons I had hosted, what all workshops I organized, what all leadership positions I held. And these add value to my resume because this helps in showcasing my other, like I'm an enthusiastic person towards tech, and I will be enthusiastic about my work if like I will be in your company also, because hackathons and all and workshops and all are organized at like the corporate level also. And like if you are enthusiastic person, if you are an enthusiastic person at the college level, then definitely you'll be enthusiastic at the corporate level. And this is something which adds value to your resume, rather than I adding like something like I was singing or I was dancing, something like that. So this is it, and like feel free to ask me your doubts related to the resume in the comment section. Please like, share, and subscribe if you like the video. And like I'm open to feedback if I can improve in some or the other way. Thanks for watching. Bye bye. आई होप आज की ये वीडियो आपको बहुत पसंद आई होगी. प्लीज़ लाइक एंड शेयर एंड सब्सक्राइब टू माई चैनल, एंड कमेंट सेक्शन में ज़रूर लिखिए कि आपको अब नेक्स्ट वीडियो कौन से टॉपिक पर चाहिए. थैंक यू एंड बाय बाय एवरीवन.